Coming to you from the studios of Galaxy Media. The #1 ranked podcast for entertainment news. The Stephen King Show. Now here is your host, Stephen King.
Welcome back to another episode of the Stephen King Show. Today I have for you Mending a Broken Heart, Lighten Up, and Move Over Mickey. But first, we gotta do
the news.
Chris Rock's finally slapping back. After mostly staying mum for a year about being slapped by Will Smith at last year's Oscars, Rock could finally get the final word Saturday night. And rumors are that it'll be a doozy. Page 6 reports a source as saying, if you were waiting to see Rock on tour address the infamous Will Smith slap situation, the comedian is waiting to spill his humorous take on it on his live Netflix stand-up special. The source added that Rock has decided to address it during his stand-up special Saturday in Baltimore, when Chris Rock Selective Outrage streams live from the Hippodrome Theater. Alec Baldwin is facing yet another lawsuit in the fatal Rust shooting that killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. He's named in a new lawsuit filed against him as well as the film's other producers by 3 Rust crew members who claim that the shooting incident caused them physical and psychological injuries. The 3 alleged negligence and intentional infliction of emotional distress in the lawsuit, filed Friday in New Mexico against Baldwin, his El Dorado Pictures Company, and Rust Movie Productions LLC. It states that their injuries were caused by defendants' failure to follow industry safety rules and that the defendants cut corners, ignored reports of multiple unscripted firearms discharges, and persisted rushed and understaffed to finish the film. Tom Sizemore's condition has not improved since his hospitalization in critical condition on February 18th. The Saving Private Ryan actor has been in a coma in intensive care after suffering a reported brain aneurysm due to a stroke. His manager released new information in a statement Monday saying, today, doctors informed his family that there is no further hope and have recommended end-of-life decision. The family is now deciding end-of-life matters and a further statement will be issued on Wednesday. Sizemore, 61. Paris Hilton has undergone further IVF treatment in a bid to have a daughter. 42-year-old Hotel Harris announced she'd become a first-time mother in January, welcoming a baby boy named Phoenix Barron with her husband Carter Riem via surrogate. Now Hilton has revealed she wants to add a girl to her brood, so the couple has gone back to their doctor in a bid to create female embryos. They have been through the IVF process 7 times, creating a total of 20 male embryos. Hilton said her latest round of IVF took place earlier this year, and they are waiting to see if it has been successful. Courtney Cox is responding to that Prince Harry psychedelic mushroom story. In his much-talked-about book, Harry recalls digging into a huge box of black diamond mushroom chocolates while staying at Cox's house years ago. In an interview, the Friends actress confirmed that the prince did stay at her place for 2 or 3 days, calling him a really nice person. As for the hallucinogens, Cox isn't telling on the prince. Quote, I'm not saying there were mushrooms, I definitely wasn't passing them out. Once a sexiest man alive, always a sexiest man alive. Michael B. Jordan recently stripped down for his first ever Calvin Klein underwear campaign, and to say the sexy stamps have the internet hot and bothered would be a massive understatement. The Creed 3 actor and director posed shirtless for much of the black and white shoot, showing off his chiseled chest and rock-hard abs and styles from the brand's Calvin Klein 1996 athletic and modern cotton performance underwear lines. One fan's simple comment pretty much sums up the response. Mother of God.
Time for music news you can use.
Adele is engaged. According to the online gossip Instagram account Du Moi, very reliable sources say she and Rich Paul are planning a summer wedding. She was seen wearing a large diamond ring during her most recent show at her Las Vegas residency. She and Paul went public 2 years ago. Miley Cyrus has revealed the track list for her Endless Summer Vacation album out March 10th. She is featured on the song Muddy Feet, while Brandi Carlile joined Cyrus on 1,000 Miles. 21 Pilots, their video for Heathens, has reached 2 billion views on YouTube. Released in 2016 as a lead single from the Suicide Squad soundtrack, the song spent 39 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 2. It's the group's second vid to hit the milestone following Stressed Out. Weezer has announced the Indie Rock Road Trip, a 30-day North American summer tour featuring a cast of bands including Modest Mouse, Future Islands, Spoon, Mama, Joyce Manor, and White Reaper. With Weezer headlining, 2 bands will join the lineup each night. Tickets go on sale this Friday. Kiss Gene Simmons is offering to record a Kiss song with you at London's iconic Abbey Road Studios for about $5,995 US. He'll meet you and other fans there on July 10th. Each will get to record a song, hear stories from Simmons' long career, and will receive souvenirs from his personal Kiss collection. He'll also sign some of them as part of the deal. The Doobie Brothers have extended their 50th anniversary tour with more than 30 new U.S. shows running June through October. The group's current lineup reunites singer-guitarist Tom Johnston, singer-keyboardist Michael McDonald, and guitarist Patrick Simmons and John McPhee for the first time in 25 years. Morgan Wallen, he's sticking around at number 1. His latest hit, Thought You Should Know, is spending its second week at the top of Billboard's country airplay chart. It's his 8th career number 1. Recently, You Proof camped out at number 1 for 10 weeks, making it the longest reigning chart topper since the tally's start in 1990. Blake Shelton, a video has been released of an all-star rendition of Tom Petty's I Won't Back Down, featuring Shelton on lead vocals. The song was released in November by the Miraculous Love Kids organization to support Afghan girls. Also on the recording are Joe Walsh and Timothy B. Schmidt of the Eagles, and ex-Guns N' Roses drummer Matt Sorum. And Alabama is bringing back its legendary June Jam event in Fort Payne, Alabama this year for the first time since 1997. The show is set for June 3rd and will be held at VFW Fairgrounds. Alabama will close the show, and more players will be announced soon. The June Jam will include a public memorial for Jeff Cook, who died last year. Next on the Stephen King Show, Lighten Up. But first, the other day I wanted to know the best place you have ever slept, and listener Nate wrote in and says the best place he's ever slept is a Harry Potter room under a staircase at his old house. That's pretty freaking awesome. And today I want to know, if you were given 1,000 acres of land that you didn't need to pay taxes on but couldn't sell, what would you do with it? Send me an email, thestephenkingShow@yahoo.com. Dr. John Kellogg, the inventor of cornflakes, was born this week back in 1852. He first served them to his mental patients, but they passed because they were already cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Now back to the Stephen King Show.
Not quite quiet quitting. Okay, are you ready for a new workplace term? How about this one? Quiet hiring. What's quiet hiring? That's when, rather than hire new workers, employers reallocate current employees to take on new projects or jobs within the company on a temporary or permanent basis. Quiet hiring isn't exactly a new concept. The term is, and it seems to be happening more often these days. And while you can certainly see the benefits to the employer, it can also be good for the worker. It can keep you from getting bored at your job while adding new skills and challenging you. So if your boss tells you that you're about to be quietly hired, experts suggest you take a moment to digest the information and take stock of possible positives and negatives of your new role. Next, ask logistical questions such as how long you're expected to be in it, who is your manager, and of course, what your pay will be. And remember, you were deemed the best candidate to fill the position. To have a thriving career today, you must be committed to constantly evolving and enhancing your skills. Next, ask about advancement possibilities. Sorry, not interested. The last time that happened, I suddenly found myself getting up at 3:30 in the morning. How can you mend a broken heart? There's no guidebook on how to heal a broken heart, but there may now be a cure. According to a new study out of the University of Ottawa, traumatic breakups can trigger disorders that mimic symptoms of PTSD, and for some, can be just as traumatizing as a life-threatening event. The researchers found that through the use of reconsolidation therapy in combination with medication used to lower blood pressure, they were able to reduce study participants' trauma scores from an average in the 50s to 19. PTSD patients score 33 or more. So, what is reconsolidation therapy? It is a concept that memory is malleable, and we can update it if we need to. Participants were asked to write down detailed accounts of their romantic betrayals and then read them aloud at weekly sessions. Propranolol helped block the surge of adrenaline that keeps the memory traumatic. The study found that exposing participants to the memory over and over again allowed them to create a new memory that says, "You're not in danger if you think about this." I'm pretty sure they had already run that memory through their minds a few times before the study even started. Lighten up. 3/4 of us wish we had an actual check engine light to indicate our health, according to a new survey. A poll of 2,000 Americans found many feel life would be easier if they had some kind of indicator for when their body needs attention. 3 in 5, 63%, said they struggle to recognize when their body is trying to tell them to mind their health. So, what if a check engine light actually existed? Respondents to the One Poll survey said they would mostly use it to notify when it's time to drink a glass of water at 57%, take vitamins at 50%, or take a nap at 45%. One expert says that while that light might not exist in reality, we can all take a break from our day to ask ourselves some critical questions about our daily health and how to better our overall well-being. Actually, the check engine light wouldn't tell you when it's time for water. That's probably the low wiper fluid light. 5 best Dr. Seuss books. The Dr. Seuss books most often recommended by reviewers on a group of websites that do that sort of thing. Number 5, Horton Hears a Who. Everyone knows of Whoville from How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but it was Horton the elephant who discovered Whoville first, when he heard the cry of the Whos. Number 4, The Lorax. Now also a popular movie, The Lorax is a heartwarming story about caring for the environment. Number 3, Oh, the Places You'll Go. His final book, released in 1990, its hopeful message continues to resonate today, especially with high school and college graduates. Number 2, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Did you know the Grinch is the only adult and also the only villain to be a main character in a Dr. Seuss book? He became one of the most honest and redemptive characters Dr. Seuss ever created. And number 1, Green Eggs and Ham. Definitely his best, the quirky story of Sam I Am trying to convince this person to try green eggs and ham, something he claims he doesn't like. I don't know how they can even do a list without including 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. Coming up, Move Over Mickey.
Like what you hear? Want to hear more? Click the link below and check out all the Stephen King Show episodes. Download, listen, like, and subscribe. Now back to the Stephen King Show.
Murdoch admits Fox posts endorse false election fraud claims. Rupert Murdoch stated under oath that Fox News hosts, including Sean Hannity and Jeanine Pirro, had endorsed dubious claims that the 2020 election was stolen according to a legal filing by Dominion Voting Systems. I would have liked us to be stronger in denouncing it in hindsight, the media mogul said during a deposition. Dominion has a $1.6 billion defamation lawsuit pending against Fox over the claims, but Fox maintains they were newsworthy. The Supreme Court will decide a financial regulator's fate. The justices agreed yesterday to consider a case challenging how the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is funded. The financial watchdog, which was created in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis, gets its cash directly from the Fed rather than from Congress, but the conservative Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals found that scheme unconstitutional. The Biden administration says that calls into question every rule the agency has ever made and every enforcement action it has taken. And Move Over Mickey. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill yesterday granting him power over the special district where Disney World is located, which Disney has controlled since the 1960s. DeSantis went after the special district when Disney came out against a law he backed, known as the Don't Say Gay bill, by critics. Today, the corporate kingdom finally comes to an end, the governor, who is expected to launch a presidential run soon, said at the signing ceremony. I will not be voting for him. Things you probably didn't know yesterday is next. In fact, hugging and or holding hands with a person you love has been proven to reduce stress almost instantly, until her husband comes home.
Now back to the Stephen King Show. This is Things You Probably Didn't Know Yesterday.
Just when you thought AI couldn't get any smarter, researchers from the University of Oxford suggest that by 2033, many household chores will be automated, decreasing the amount of time we spend on chores by 39%. Researchers asked 65 artificial intelligence experts from the UK and Japan to predict the degree to which everyday tasks will become automated in the next decade. The experts feel the time spent doing housework will decrease by 44% over the next 10 years, with time spent washing dishes decreasing by 47%, and cleaning and cooking by 46%. Experts also estimated that laundry will be 43% automated, and the time it takes to fold laundry will decrease by 44%. Perhaps we should consider asking the AI about all this. And some more things you probably didn't know yesterday. Beaver eyelids are transparent, so they can see through them as they swim underwater. Termites never sleep, they work 24 hours a day. Multiply your weight by 7%, that's how much your blood weighs. We change our voice when we talk to people we like. The opposite of paranoia is pronia. A person suffering from pronia feels that people or entities around them are plotting to do them good. And scientists have discovered a giant cloud of alcohol spanning 288 billion miles floating in space. Back with the answer to yesterday's question, next.
Need a new coffee mug? How about a new shirt or hoodie? Check out the Stephen King Show shop. Go to thestephenkingshow.securedecoration.com or click on the link in the description. Happy shopping, and thanks for supporting the show. Now back to the Stephen King Show.
Yesterday I asked, and I have done this, 68% of pet owners have done this for their pet. What is it? Sign their name on a greeting card. I do that for Sassy and Sammy all the time. And today's question, the average person does this for at least 30 minutes per day. What is it? And I'll give you the answer tomorrow. And I'll leave you with, a bit of fragrance always clings to the hand that gives roses. Talk to you tomorrow.